Social Justice Leadership Platform Presentation by Elizabeth Rantuccio. Leadership for Social Justice, Section 1C, Dr. Joanne Manning. A child without education is like a bird without wings. It's a Tibetan proverb. My social justice leadership platform is for special needs students in higher education. The title of my platform is Empowering Voices in Higher Education, a Leadership Approach to Social Justice for students with special needs. This platform emphasizes the critical role of leadership in creating a school culture that values diversity, fosters inclusion, and ensures equity and educational outcomes for special needs students. A leader for social justice, I believe, creates an equitable society where all individuals have fair access to opportunities and resources, regardless of their background, identity, or abilities. I believe a social justice leader is driven by commitment to breaking down barriers, addressing inequities, and fostering inclusivity and respect for diversity. According to contemporary researchers, effective leaders take responsibility for their learning, share a vision for what can be, and assess their own assumptions and beliefs, and understand the structural and organic nature of schools. In my status as a teacher, leader, and as a sociologist, I believe in and value a just society, and I assume this begins with a quality education. The role I play as a social justice leader in the field of education is equity-driven. In my classroom, I advocate for policies and practices that are fair and ensure all students have what they need to succeed, to feel included, and to have a voice. Further, as a teacher leader, I continually reflect and challenge my own assumptions, remain open to learning, and strive to align my actions with my values. Therefore, my goal as a social justice leader is to work toward breaking down barriers to education, advocating for appropriate resources, and creating inclusive environments that support these students' needs. My core values and beliefs inform my social justice leadership practices within my classroom and at Rowan University. The theories that inform my social justice leadership platform include critical disability theory and the symbolic interactionist perspective. In addressing equity for students with disabilities in higher education, transformative social justice leadership requires a deep, multidimensional understanding of the forces that shape student experiences. Critical disability theory highlights the role of systemic inequities and structural barriers, viewing disability not as an individual deficit, but as a socially constructed concept influenced by dominant ideologies. Simultaneously, symbolic interaction theory offers a critical lens to examine how students with disabilities navigate their identities through social interactions and how these interactions affect their self-concept and their educational outcomes. By combining these theoretical perspectives, leaders can better advocate for inclusive practices that break down structural barriers while respecting the personal, diverse experiences of students with disabilities. Having this integrated approach will enable me as a teacher leader to foster an environment where students are empowered to fully engage in the academic community with equity and dignity. Given my leadership platform and advocacy for students with disabilities, I believe my vision statement aligns with a just cause. According to Simon Sinek, a just cause must pass 3 tests. It must be resilient, inclusive, and service-oriented. The vision I have is resilient and can withstand technological, political, and cultural change. It is inclusive, and I will invite all who can contribute to my vision And lastly, it is service-oriented in that the primary benefit goes to the students and not the teacher. My vision is for every student, regardless of ability, to have the right to an education that is tailored to their individual strengths and challenges. Special needs students should not only have access to the general curriculum, but also receive the necessary support to succeed alongside their peers. I envision schools that adopt inclusive educational practices and integrate special needs students into mainstream classrooms as much as possible. The goal is to provide a least restrictive environment, ensuring that students with disabilities have meaningful interactions with their peers while receiving the accommodations they require. There is a need and an application of social justice leadership for special needs students in higher education. The Faculty Center at Rowan University, in collaboration with the Office of Accessibility Services and the Center for Neurodiversity, held an event during Access, Inclusion, and Social Justice Week from October 21st to the 25th. And this included colleagues in the OAS, Center for Neurodiversity, and also a panel of Rowan students. This interactive session, entitled Shifting Focus, Seeing Disability as Diversity, helped me to learn how to make my classes more accessible and inclusive and reposition disability as diversity. The Office of Accessibility Services staff coordinates and ensures accessible classes, the use of assistive technology, audio tape books when available, examination administration in cooperation with the instructor, as well as other services as deemed necessary. They are located on the second floor of Sabbats Hall at Rowan University. The Center for Neurodiversity hopes to broaden accessibility and ensure students have equal opportunity. According to Patty Coughlin at the Center for Neurodiversity, the number of students who have accommodations are up. Over 3,900 students are registered with accessibility services. 2/3 have non-apparent disabilities. 1/3 have mental conditions. Over 250 autistic students and over 1,700 identify as neurodivergent. In addition, 45% of the overall student population have recorded mental health as a secondary or primary diagnosis. The research indicates that American higher education has an equity problem. This platform is an attempt to act and address the inequity that exists among marginalized students, particularly those with special needs. As an equity-minded practitioner, I view inequities as problems of practice and feel a personal and institutional responsibility to address them. The following graphic illustrates the action plan for this social justice leadership platform in higher education for students with special needs. The first step is reflection. This involves problem identification and the need for changes. At step 2, we collect data and information. Step 3, we interpret the findings and suggest changes. Step 4 is the action step, and changes are implemented. Then step 5, we reflect on the plan of implemented changes and modify the plan as necessary. While there are challenges to creating an inclusive environment for special needs students, these include limited funding, resistance to change, and the need for specialized training. There are also numerous opportunities. By collaborating with the Office of Accessibility Services and the Center for Neurodiversity at Rowan, by integrating technology, things such as Canvas, there are features in Canvas. There is also read write software that is becoming available to not only special needs students, but all students, text to speech options, and it's free software download through Rowan University IRT. Technology integration, in addition to fostering growth and having a growth mindset within the university culture. With these, social justice leaders can overcome barriers and ensure that all students receive the education they deserve. The role of educational social justice leaders in supporting special needs students is both critical and complex. By fostering an inclusive environment, advocating for necessary resources, and promoting professional development, we can ensure that special needs students are not only included, but also empowered to achieve their full potential. As leaders, we must commit to creating schools where every student, regardless of their abilities, is given the opportunity to succeed. Thank you.